At the New Year's party, Grandma yelled, "Why did you sell the $1.2 million beach house I bought you?" I froze. I'm renting a studio right now. Everyone looked at my brother. His face went white when the attorney walked in. Let me start from the beginning. My grandma is 81, sharp mind, bad knees, and more money than most people in our family realized. She sold her late husband's commercial properties about 7 years ago and walked away with just over $4 million after taxes. She never talked about it. She drove the same car she'd had for 12 years, wore the same clothes, cooked her own meals, lived in the same house she'd been in since 1987. You'd never know she had that kind of money, but a few of us knew. My brother Kyle was one of them. Kyle is 38. I'm 33. We've never been close. Growing up, he was the one who always had a plan, always knew what to say, always made sure he was standing next to the right person at the right time. He managed our grandma's finances for the last 3 years. She trusted him completely. He helped her pay bills, move money between accounts, handle paperwork. I didn't think much of it. I had my own life. I didn't need anybody managing anything for me. I'm a high school track coach. I make $52,000 a year. I live alone in a studio apartment that costs me $1,100 a month. It's small, but it works. I hadn't asked my grandma for money ever. Not once. So when she walked up to me at the New Year's party in front of 40 people and said, "Sweetheart, why did you sell that beautiful beach house? I spent $1.2 million on that for your future." I had no idea what she was talking about. I said, "Grandma, I don't own a beach house. I rent a studio apartment on Cedar Street." She looked confused. She said, "No, Kyle handled it. He said you needed help and I sent the money through him. He showed me the paperwork. The deed had your name on it." I looked at Kyle. He was standing by the drink table. His girlfriend was next to him. His face had gone completely gray. I said, "Kyle, what is she talking about?" He didn't answer right away. He took a sip of his drink and said, "Grandma gets confused sometimes. You know how she is." My grandma heard that. She straightened up and said, "I am not confused. I signed a check for $1.2 million 14 months ago. You told me it was for a beach house for your brother. You showed me closing documents. You said he was too proud to ask." Kyle said, "Can we talk about this later? This isn't the place." My Uncle Frank stepped in. "No, I think this is exactly the place. What did you do with $1.2 million, Kyle?" Kyle's girlfriend put her drink down. She looked at him like she was seeing him for the first time. Kyle said, "I invested it. It's in a trust. It's fine. Everything is accounted for." My grandma said, "Then where's the house?" He didn't answer. My cousin Leon, who works in real estate, pulled out his phone and ran a property search on my name in every coastal county in the state. Nothing. Zero results. He said, "There's no beach house in his name anywhere." The room went dead quiet. My grandma sat down in a chair. Her hands were shaking. She said, "You stole from me." Kyle said, "I didn't steal anything. I moved the money into—" My grandma held up her hand. "Stop talking." Then the front door opened. A man in a gray suit walked in carrying a folder. My Uncle Frank had called him 20 minutes earlier. His name was Douglas Webb, my grandma's original estate attorney. She'd used him for decades before Kyle took over her finances. Mr. Webb sat down at the dining table with my grandma. He opened the folder and said, "I pulled the records you asked for, Mrs. Caldwell. There is no property purchased in your grandson's name. The $1.2 million was transferred to an account under Kyle's name. From there, $740,000 went to a condo in Kyle's name in another state. $280,000 went to a brokerage account also in Kyle's name, and approximately $180,000 was spent over 14 months on personal expenses." The room didn't move. My mom put her hand on the wall like she needed something to hold on to. Kyle's girlfriend grabbed her purse and walked out without saying a word. Kyle looked at me, not at Grandma, at me, like I was the one who did this to him. He said, "You couldn't just leave it alone." I said, "I didn't do anything." Grandma asked me a question, and I told the truth. He turned to my grandma. I was going to pay it back. She didn't look at him. She looked at Mr. Webb and said, "What are my options?" He said, "Several, and none of them are good for Kyle." My grandma nodded. Then she looked at me. She said, "I'm sorry, baby. I thought I was helping you." I knelt down next to her chair. I said, "You don't owe me anything, Grandma. You never did." She squeezed my hand. Kyle looked around the room. Nobody said a word. He left through the back door. Nobody followed him.